Let's talk. Talk about the things that mean so much to you and me. Let's talk.
And here's your host, Henry Benefield.
Talk about the things that mean so much to
Oh, hello. Welcome to another program of Let's Talk. That's what happens. You get all excited about what is about to happen, and you get into the program, and all of a sudden you're like, we're live. Welcome to another live program of Let's Talk. I'm your host, Henry Benefield, and it's such a pleasure to have you here with us today to talk about the things of importance to you, our viewers, and our listeners. So let's get off to a good start. We have some special guests on the program today. December the 8th, 2019 at 5 p.m. in the evening at the Allen Temple AME Church. That's located 7080 Reading Road. We're going to have a program. It's going to be a fundraiser for a lot of the youth in the city of Cincinnati. And that particular program is going to take place again at the Allen Temple AME Church, 7080 Reading Road. And it's going to be I'm talking kind of fast. It's going to be the 100 plus African American men's chorus. We've taken the liberty to invite some of those members to be with us today to talk about this benefit program so that you know exactly what's going to be going on. So let me welcome our guest today on the program to talk about this wonderful, wonderful event. If you've never attended, you definitely want to make plans to attend. Write this date down again. All around Cincinnati, Dayton, Indianapolis, everybody, Kentucky, write it down again. December the 8th. December the 8th, 5 p.m. in the evening at the Allen Temple AME Church, located 7080 Reading Road. The 100 plus African American men's chorus is going to be doing their benefit concert. So let me start by welcoming some of the members of the 100 plus African American men's chorus. I'm getting tongue-tied today. To the program. Let me first start by welcoming Mr. JL. We certainly do appreciate you for being on the program today. Let's go to these guys over here. Thank you for coming. We have Reverend Mays, that is one of our guests as well. Welcome to the program, Reverend Mays. And we also welcome to our program Brother Rodney Barber. Welcome to our program. And then we have Brother Jimmy Walton. Welcome to our program as well, Brother Jimmy Walton. We certainly want to talk about Brother Rodney Barber, and I know you have the microphone. Tell us, what is the 100 plus African American men's chorus?
Well, first of all, the 100 plus African American men's chorus is we help youth in trying to achieve their goals. We also are great men of the city who get together and put on a wonderful concert once a year. All the great men in the city get together on one accord, and we try to put on a great concert, and all the benefits go towards sending kids on the college tour, helping kids with their trade, helping them to achieve whatever goals they're trying to achieve in life. Some of the Cincinnati Marching Stars band, which we'll hear about later, some of them we try to get those instruments. We try to help you with the trade, whatever your heart desires to keep our young kids focused and on the right path.
So what you're saying, you guys have a broad outreach program focused at the youth in the city of Cincinnati as far as a deterrent from keeping them from becoming a product of the streets.
Correct.
So let's talk about some of the things that you do. You mentioned that you send kids on the Black College bus tour.
Yes.
Let's talk about it. From my understanding, it is it's the kids that really have the grades, that have the ability to go to college, but when they get to that pinnacle where they should graduate and continue on to college, for some reason they lose motivation.
Correct.
And they become dropouts, and then they become a statistics of the street. Yes. With all the crime and all of the drugs and all of just the craziness of the streets, period.
Yes.
So did you want to expound upon that just a little bit more?
Well, we would like to try to keep some of these roadblocks that these youth are facing we're trying to step in and eliminate some of that stuff, because sometimes they just don't know that they are capable of doing some things that they are capable of doing. But when they go somewhere and they see some people that look like them, some people that act like them, some people that's from where they're from, and can relate to them, then they can say, oh, well, I can do this also.
Wow.
Since if he can do it, I can do it. Or he, so that's what we're trying to achieve. We're trying to let them know that everything is possible. You just have to put the effort toward it, and we're here to help you along the way.
Wow. Now, you are a father,
Yes.
correct? And you do have sons.
Yes.
Wow. So you certainly do understand how challenging it can be for some people who have young people who have made a decision that I don't want to go to school, I don't want to drop out. And I know you may have experienced that being a parent and understanding, was it your connection to being a father, knowing that it took that motivation from you as a dad to encourage them to the next level, to continue to college and possibly, high school, completing high school, possibly on to college?
Yes, and also nobody has got where they are by themselves.
Wow.
So somebody had to help anybody that's
Sure.
that has got anywhere.
Sure.
So if you really be honest, somebody helped you get where you at. So when you get a chance to give back the opportunity, you should also try
Wow.
to do the same thing. And as they say, each one, teach one.
Yeah.
And then we can go on from there.
Wow, how awesome. Mr. Jimmy Walton, you are, I'm going to ask you to pass the mic to Mr. Walton, please. You are the director of Guitars Vets. Give me the complete description of the organization that you're the head of. Vets, Guitars for Vets?
Well, I'm not the head of the organization, but I am in the organization. It's called Guitars for Vets. And
Okay.
What happens is it's a national organization, and that this organization targets veterans who have a diagnosis of PTSD.
Okay.
And we give guitars to these veterans, give them lessons for 12 weeks.
Sure.
And then they get a guitar at the end of that 12 weeks, and
Wow.
they can either remain in the program or go on. But it helps them to deal with some of the demons that PTSD has.
Sure.
And it is something that we get.
So we know with an extensive schedule, with a program like that and all the other things in your life, what made you be a part of the 100 plus African American men's chorus?
Well, normally at the VA, we try to go out and do charities. And when I found the African American Men's Chorus, and let me say I'm the only person of color in this group, in the VA group, but I wanted to be a part of this because it's for two reasons. Number one, it's important that we support our young people.
Yes.
And allow them to do what they need to do, number one. Number two is that there's such a feeling that African American men are not cohesive. And this is a program that shows that once a year, you know, these African American men from various backgrounds get together and they do something to make it better for the African American youth.
Wow, how awesome.
So that's one of the things that, like.
How awesome. I'm going to ask Pastor Mays a question, but I have one more question to you as well. I think there's a microphone back there for you guys as well. But I want to ask one more question. You said you were the only person of color. I want to make sure that that's in reference to the Guitars for Vets.
That is a reference to the Guitars for Vets.
because you did say, I'm the only person of color, and I'm looking at everyone behind you looking like people of color, and I just wanted to make sure we gave a clarification
Yes,
on that.
that
So
is
Guitars
wonderful.
for Vets, you're the only person of color. So
yes.
wow, what a wonderful program. Pastor Mays, you are a pastor, you are a husband, you are a full-time employee. Most people, if they know anything, most pastors' lives are so full, but yet you found time to participate in making a difference in the lives of young people. Talk to me about that.
Well, first, it's an honor to be here with all you brothers, and I want to tell you, you're correct. I am a pastor. I work every day. I am a husband, a father, and it's a lot of time that comes out of your day. How do you find time for this? You have to make time in order to do things. Now, I want to piggyback off of the brother said you gotta want to give back. And all of my life, I have been doing things for others and not understanding why you was doing them until you come to the understanding that God put you on this earth for a reason. And the one thing is to help my brother and my sisters out. And even to the point to where when we were coming up, we didn't have this kind of support and help back in the day that we have now. And that it's amazing to me how so many brothers out here who can sing, who can and stand up there and hold a better note than most of us can in this group, have not found out or realized it's not about you. It's about what you can do for God. And God will be pleased at the fact that you have took the time out of a 24-hour day and said, let me give back. What can I do for somebody else? So at my church in 2020, we are actually going on what can we do for somebody else. No more me, myself, and I. We didn't need me, myself, and I didn't raise money. I didn't been paid money. I didn't thought about me. I didn't take care. In life, you got to learn how not to always want to be rich, but to be comfortable to where it is that you can say, listen, I got a couple of minutes. I can do something for this person or that person. And I think that this group of men have done that and changed the way I saw things when I thought about being around a bunch of men. I was like, these are a bunch of men from different denominations. Some are believers, some are non-believers, some just don't know why they're here, but they're here. But they understand the one thing, humble myself. It ain't about me. It's about what I can do for God. And to give back means way more than to sit there and say, well, I ain't gonna sing because I don't like this person or that person. You shouldn't come for that. The same way you shouldn't come to church for the people in the church. You should come for the main reason, and that's to please and honor God. And I think people get out of that character of understanding why they should do the things they do. This group has turned me so around about a bunch of men, because I never felt a brothership with a bunch of men that is different ages. Now we have seasoned. I never call nobody old. They're seasoned. We have seasoned folks, people around my age, and we have people that are younger. And it feels good that we can give back. And the part that gets me is little Sean has been there for the longest. And buddy, he then went from a little baby and growing on up to the day that he can say, if I go to this thing, I know that I put in time for it. And all we got to do is put in time.
So what you're saying is that there's a plethora of ages in the 100 plus African American men's course. You have little guys, you have boys, and then you have young adults, and then you have young males, and then you have some middle-aged guys and seniors and all this other kind of, or like you said, seasoned. It's just a plethora of ages within the 100 plus African American men's course.
Correct. And we get along just fine. I didn't think we were going to get along fine when I first came to this. I was like, I said, honey, this ain't going to work. I said, a bunch of guys at the same place. I said, we all different. When I got there, I was so shocked. And I don't know if this is my 6th year or 5th year or something like that, because I missed 1 year due to my scheduling. I couldn't make it, but I told myself from this point on, I'm going to find time. So to everybody out there who sit back and say, I wanna, well, it ain't. You just got to put in the time. Make time.
Is it worth it?
That's right. It's worth it. Make time. Make time. Don't worry about Brother Henry or Brother Phil or Brother Gaston or none of those guys. Come there because you want to do it for the kids.
Brother JL, I'm going to ask you to pass the mic. Brother JL, tell me, man, we've heard from Mr. Barber, we've heard from Mr. Walton and Pastor May. How do you feel, man, being a part of this organization? Has it affected you, or you were motivated to come and be a part of it because of something? I mean, just tell me, how do you feel about this whole thing, man?
I heard y'all last year, and I know I sing with the Christian Brotherhood.
Okay.
And when I seen 100 plus men's, African American men's singing, it inspired me. Inspired me because I was motivated, because see the inspiration between all of y'all and all the singers, it made me feel like although I was in the audience, I was up there with you.
Yeah, yeah.
And so I made an effort because I want to get up around men's.
Right.
Not only the men's and young men's, to lead them and for they can come together as a unity, as one, and we can be on the same level till we can do an outreach for the kids that need help, need income, need a way to travel to different universities, and also to get them motivated that when they do get an opportunity to go out where they had doubt that they couldn't succeed, they give them the opportunity they can succeed by we showing a positive attitude through us for them, and they can rub off and they can help somebody else.
Wow, awesome. Mr. Barber, you are owner of a business. You've been owning it for a year. Why is it so important for us to have a good focus on educating our youth, especially with so much stuff that they have to deal with today? Use your mic, please.
Education is always important.
Okay.
And you can't beat education. But as you educate, you also have to teach just regular standards of life that youth might not know. You know, how to present themselves at the job.
Sure.
Be on time.
Sure.
Do what they ask you to do.
Right.
You know, don't complain. Don't frown up. You know, you there, this person paying you. You there, do what your job. You know, if you're unhappy with something, then either stay there till you can find something else or things like that. But so education is important, but we have to do something first before education.
Sure.
Because you could be the smartest person in the world, but with no values and no respect, you're still not going to get anywhere.
Sure.
So that's one thing the 100 plus African American men's course is we into, you know, we have to teach, you have to train them up, as they say.
Right.
We have to train them up, and the sky is the limit.
Wow.
But we have to start by, I believe, for all y'all who going to be with us on the 8th,
December the 8th
of December, we're going to touch the world, and y'all find out. We're going to show you how we could touch the world.
Wow.
So come on out and have a good time, and we can learn some things. Also, we're never too old to learn anything. So so that's what we need. One of the things we need to do with our youth, and it's a collective thing. It's not just it's the parents' job. It's the church's job, but it's a collective where we all need to pitch in and say, hey, young man or young lady, you know, this is how you do that. You don't operate like this, or you shouldn't operate like that. So.
Sure. Mr. Walton, he kind of led a song, We Can Touch the, or I'm not song, but a lead into what the question I was going to ask, that we can touch the world. And one of the things that I was reading on the bio of the 100 Plus African American Men's Course is that they have extended not only just an academic education, but in arts as well. And I know that you are an international artist and have exhibited in Europe and America and all the different places. How important is it that we as a society, and thank God for the 100 Plus African American Men's Course, that focuses on the gift of the individual, not necessarily academic education only? Being an artist, because I'm assuming you've been quite successful, because I've seen your art in a lot of prestigious places, that you could give a perspective that whatever gift is in the child, if that can be developed, how that can make them and give them a successful life.
What's interesting is that I used to have a business in California. I had an art gallery, and I had an artist who showed at my gallery. He had two little girls. They had grown up in Korea, and they spoke fluent Korean. They were about 8 years old. And so we were there one day, and I had a show. They were there, and a woman walked by and said, "Oh, you little girls are really nice. What are you going to do when you grow up?" And one of the little girls, and I didn't know this, but she said, "I'm going to have a business like Mr. Jimmy."
Wow.
You know, and that shocked me. But that lets you know that they're sponges, children. They're always watching you, whether you know it or not. So it's up to us to become the leader that they are seeking. You know, so being in the African American 100 Men's Chorus, you know, that is a platform to be looked up to from young people.
Sure.
You know, and that's something that is sorely needed within this community at this point.
Traditionally, in a lot of homes, traditional American homes, certain subjects for their kids that they feel they should have to be successful, you know, a lawyer, doctor, so on and so on and so on. And my question to you, because of you being an actual successful artist that is not a doctor or an accountant or business, well, you do have business administration, but are you getting what I'm saying? The art part, why is it important for us to be conscientious that that is equally as important as someone becoming a doctor, because they can be successful at both trades, both skills?
Art is when you brush your hair, when I used to brush my hair. Art is when you bathe. Art is when you eat. Art is when you breathe. I mean, the world is around you consists of art. And you can do it poorly, or you can do it as well as you can do it, as well as God wants you to do it. Because in my bio, I always say that people ask, you know, what's your inspiration? My inspiration comes from God. You know, so therefore, there's a channel that comes through me to the canvas or whatever it is that I'm working on. You know, and that's very important for young people to understand. And I go back to the visualization of a group of young men when society says that black men are this and black men are that. But to see a group of men of all ages coming together and making beautiful music for the enjoyment of all, that is something to be reckoned with.
Wow. Awesome. JL, I have a question. I know that you have been associated with a lot of different businesses as far as in your life. Recently, former President Barack Obama put an emphasis on not only academic education, but trade skills and carpenter, automotive, and I guess the things that some of us experience in school through some of the courses. And he emphasized the fact of being aware to send young people, if they have talents such as a carpenter, as a painter, or an electrician or a plumber. Coming from a community where those kind of skills have been very prevalent, tell me your perspective of why we should just focus, not just focus, but also focus on those type of skills in our young people as well.
That's very important because as I was a young man, the first thing I did when I got out of high school, I went and become an apprentice carpenter.
Wow.
Okay. That was over there on Central Parkway. That's where the unemployment office used to be. And I went head on, took the training up, and went to school and got my certificates and become a carpenter. Became a carpenter. I was a young man. And at the same time, I ended up going to the Millicron.
Wow.
I picked up the skill there. I became an art welder.
Wow.
Setting charts and welding. But later on, these skills are very important because everybody's not going to go to college. And it's a whole, you could be a millwright, you could be a pipe fitter.
Wow.
All these things is out there for the youth these days.
Wow.
Well, matter of fact, I end up with the city of Cincinnati.
Wow.
In 2000, I was taking care of the Cincinnati Business District down in the heart of downtown. And my youth that was coming out of school, young men, they was an old trend. They had the pants down. Okay.
Wow.
And I had to realize to make them saying, hey, you got to respect your city where you're working at as on your employer. You cannot be out here like you out in the street.
Sure.
You got to make sure you have them pants up.
Sure.
Now, to correct them, you let them know where they gonna lead themselves at if they turn around in this situation.
Wow.
Where they come in, they like that. It's just like planting a seed
Sure.
in your yard
Yeah.
or garden.
Yeah.
It takes time. When they see you, they start putting their pants up. As they develop, become grown, older and older, they
Wow.
still growing.
Wow.
Then they decent, they find dignity to respect themselves, and as they growing, they see they have a family.
Wow.
Now, they got to show example and set example for their kids.
Wow.
But and that not only builds character in them because they are the ones got to build character in their kids.
Wow.
So that's what it's all about. You go out and when you develop where your weakness was and you got strong in it and you grow, now you can help other ones grow. You do it from the start at home first, and then next thing you know, your kids, they can help the other ones
Wow.
as they grow.
Wow. Wow.
And so that's where it's all started at.
Wow.
And it's good to have these kind of programs
Wow.
because everybody is not going to go to college.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
a
yeah.
great idea
Yeah.
to go because we need it.
Yeah.
But it's also a great idea to
With
take
trade
up
trade schools and other schools that teach specifics, the Art Academy, I mean, there are schools, there's music. I mean, there's such a wide range of options that young people have that they can focus on to be successful in life. Mr. Barber, I'm gonna ask you to put your mic up to your mouth.
Yes.
My understanding from reading some of the information on the 100 Plus African American Men's Course, the 100 Plus African American Men's Course works with an organization called Reaching Self-Reliance Students. And that is, I think the director is Ms. Zette Yarbrough. And her focus is that upon reading information, you guys, you send the kids on the Black College Bus Tour, primarily kids that are, we considered underprivileged. Basically, it's financially they can't afford to go on it and they have the potential to just drop out. But to send them on the tour, my understanding was you continue the support for these youth because if they cannot afford to go on the tour, what is the possibility of them being able to go to a college or trade or skill craft after they come off the Black College Bus Tour? My understanding, working with an organization from Reaching Self-Reliant Students, Ms. Zette Yarbrough provides but support to keep their grades up to a level where they can get full scholarships, where by the time they graduate, however many years they attend the educational opportunity they have, that they're debt-free because of all the grants where some kids have $125,000, $225,000 debt on a grant, but through the 100 Plus African American Men's working with Reaching Self-Reliant Students, you guys have the potential to have students graduate debt-free.
Yes, and I like to say Ms. Zette is a wonderful person, and if anybody's looking for someone to help find grants and so you can graduate debt-free, go to school, don't owe anything, and she's not going to do it for you. You have to do it with her.
Wow.
But she is willing to help. And if anybody's looking to get in touch with Ms. Zette, get in touch with the 100 African American Men's Course, and we'll point you in the right direction. But Ms. Zette, she does have an organization where she helps with students looking for grants and not loans. So
Wow.
this is one thing that the 100 Plus African American Men's Course can also put you in the right direction to get with her also, because like he said, if they don't have the money for the tour, then of course they probably don't have the money for the school, and if they don't have the money for the school, they don't have the money for the books. But we have a pathway, connections for all this stuff.
Wow.
If a student really wants to go to school or pursue their trade or whatever, we'll take one step if you take one step.
Wow,
So
awesome.
that's where we're going.
And my understanding this year, on December the 8th, at the Allen Temple AME Church, that you guys are going to have a special guest. They're forming basically the 100 Plus African American Men's Chorus Orchestra, which is quite exciting. And part of it is your horn section is going to consist of a group of young people that you guys support as well through the Cincinnati Arts Program. Brother Mr. Eric McDaniels, I think the name of the marching band, Cincinnati Stars? Cincinnati Stars, thank you, I'm sorry. And they're going to be special guests on this benefit concert as well, right?
Yes, they are.
Wow,
Yes, they
how
are.
exciting. So these are people that you support in the music category, young people that you support. As we talked about education, as far as being a doctor, being a lawyer, you're encouraging people, if they have the gift of being a musician, they can be quite successful.
Correct.
In this business. I mean, just ask Beyonce and Jay-Z, and he's making more than some of the Carpenters are making.
Right.
So they can be quite successful if that gift is perfected.
That's
so they're going to be guests. And I think, again, the information for everybody is the 100 Plus African American Men's Chorus in their annual benefit concert. This is open to the door, free of all charge. The proceeds are going to go to support these particular organizations in empowering and enriching the lives of young people throughout the Cincinnati region. Again, that date is December the 8th at the Allen Temple AME Church. That is on the corner of Reading Road and Seymour. And that's going to be, the actual address is 7080 Reading Road. 5 p.m. in the evening, you come and see some positive men doing some positive things for our community. Everyone is invited. If you have not been, you certainly want to come there early, because it is always a full house for this type of event. It's a very, very exciting event for the city of Cincinnati. You never know who's going to be there, because there's celebrities from every place that come to the different concerts and things. You never know. You never know. I'd be surprised. But I wanted to also acknowledge that I was reading information that the 100 Plus African American Men has been recognized and honored by a lot of people, prominent individuals and organizations in the city of Cincinnati. I think you guys received the Legends Award, I think it was a couple of years ago. And then you receive accolades from the mayor's office, you receive accolades from the state representative, accolades from the Congress, the Senate, everybody, and even was recognized and honored by President Barack Obama. Is that correct? Mm-hmm. How awesome. Can you please put your mic up to you? Yes. Yeah, there you go. Thank you so much. So how awesome it was that you guys have been recognized by a lot of prominent people, not only in the city of Cincinnati, but as far as the nation is concerned, as individuals that have been doing some phenomenal things. So again, everybody, that date is December the 8th, 2019, 5 p.m. in the evening. It's open door, free to the public. It's a benefit concert to support the youth in the Ohio, Cincinnati region. It's going to take place at Allen Temple, 7080 Reading Road. Everybody, 7080 Reading Road. You want to come, have a really, really good time. You never know who's going to be there, but I'm certainly going to be there. I don't know about you, as old folks say, don't meet me there, don't greet me there, beat me there, because it is something worth attending. We certainly want to applaud all of the men that are part of the 100 Plus African American Men's Chorus for their dedication and support of the community of Cincinnati and the surrounding region for making a difference in the lives of young people. Certainly when we see a lot of images on television today in reference to African American men, it comes across as a very negative image, and it is just so good to see positive images of fathers, uncles, grandfathers, cousins, brothers, a multitude of individuals that are actually coming together for a purpose. We understand as leaders in the community, it's incumbent upon us to be the leaders in making a positive change in our community. So again, December the 8th, Allen Temple AME Church, 7080 Reading Road, in concert, benefit concert, the 100 plus African American men's course. I think we have just a little snippet of something that we're going to hear from them, just a little snippet. I'm going to ask the guy to play. Then I'm going to come back with my very, very special guest for this afternoon's program. I keep saying this afternoon. This thing airs on evenings and mornings and afternoons, and sometimes I say, whenever you're watching this, this is what we're talking about, okay? So again, write that date down. I'm going to give my guy just a little bit of time to cue that up. But everybody, you really need to support these gentlemen because, first of all, it's quite difficult to put this kind of event together and then to be able to have it where it's successful. I tell you, it is really, 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 really important. You never know who's going to be there. You never know who knows? Stevie Wonder might show up. I almost said Luther Vandross, but Luther Vandross is gone. How awesome. But how wonderful that is going to be a part of the actual event. So again, it's going to be 7080 Reading Road, which is going to be the 100 plus African American men's course. I'm going to see if our guy's ready to cue that up. If he is, let's hear a little bit of the 100 plus African American men's course. There you have it, just a little bit of what's going to come on December the 8th. And I'm sure you're like me, you felt like clapping your hands. It's only going to get better. That's at the Allen Temple AME Church, 7080 Reading Road, located in the city of Cincinnati, Ohio. Well, let's go to the second part of our program today. We have a special guest that is also going to talk about the city of Cincinnati. I'm very honored to have her here. Her schedule has been quite busy, but we finally had an opportunity to invite her to bring some information about the organization that she represents. Please welcome my second guest on the program, Dr. Melba Moore, who is the Cincinnati Health Commission. Dr. Moore, welcome to the program.
Thank you.
It is such a pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for coming.
Sure, no problem.
Absolutely. I wanted to invite you because I know that there are a lot of things that's going on at the health department, and most of the people have no idea. So I know that you could give us some information. Traditionally, people think that it's just the health centers and things like that, you know, but I know that there's such a broad range of services. Let's talk about some of the services that the health department provides, please.
So first of all, our mission, your health is our mission.
Wow.
Public health, we save lives. We go upstream to see what's going on so that we can put interventions into place. We have environmental health, and environmental health is the ones when you go to any restaurant in the city of Cincinnati, my inspectors,
Wow.
are the ones who are there and ensuring that the food is safe.
Wow.
When you think about infant mortality, and that's one of the focal areas for our department, it's my nurses that go into the homes because we recognize you have to take the services to where the people are.
Certainly.
So those are our nurses that are doing that, and we do that in partnership. Couldn't do it without Cradle Cincinnati. Cradle Cincinnati is a partner of ours. We work with Hamilton County. Sometimes what you have to do in these positions is you have to look to your other partners for them to bring in information. If you don't necessarily have it within your department, you reach to your partners because you have to do this in collaboration with your other partners. It's so important.
Absolutely.
So we have environmental health, we have communicable disease, and we're looking to make sure, such as if you were reading the paper last year, there were a lot of high cases of measles in Kentucky. They were all around us. There was only one case, and that was out in the county, in one of the county areas, and not in the city. Now, can I say that's because we did a good job? I can only tell you that our immunization rates in our 13 school-based health centers was like 97.1% compliance.
Awesome.
You have to meet people where they are.
Yeah.
Our community health services, they're by far, I would think, the best.
Wow.
Partnership. I came in on the tail end of it, but I believe in partnership.
Yes.
My partners over at UC, we have a brand new health center in the Avondale Township. So when I think about the whole year, I've been here 15 months, the whole year that I've been here, it's been busy.
Wow.
We've been moving, and we're making things happen, and we make things happen through our partnerships.
Wow, how awesome. You talked about environmental being one of the focuses that come under the health department. Let's talk about that so people understand some of the in-depth stuff that you guys cover, or if someone has like a restaurant, they want to be able to make sure it's on point.
You can call my office.
Okay.
And we'll walk you through that process.
Or at least call your department because we have such a broad audience today. And if you get 150 calls, we want to make sure.
I'm going to give you the right number. I'm going to give you the main number. But no, when I think about environmental health, I think about Antonio Young. He's my environmental health services director. Great guy, and he has the food section, and that's John Sanders, who's the supervisor over the food section. We have Darius Porter is like one of many great inspectors that go in. I remember Darius because there was a situation that I was calling Antonio about last year, and he said, I'm going to get Darius on it. All of the inspectors, highly trained, highly skilled individuals.
Awesome.
Yes.
And their focus when they go into a facility, their main focus is from the Cincinnati Health Department is?
Make sure that temperatures are right? Are you following the sanitation processes? Or do you have the 2-3 vac sink in the back? Is that overflow running the way that it should? But really making sure storage of food. And it's embedded in my mind because when I first started as a commissioner 17 years ago in St. Louis, I went to a facility. I wanted to see it.
Certainly.
And it was a warehouse. And I was going, well, why is that on the floor like that?
Wow.
And the inspector said, it's not supposed to be.
Wow.
And then I said, well, and we went into the cooling area off of this kitchen, and the eggs were underneath some meat. I said, that doesn't look right. He said, it's not supposed to be like that, Commissioner. And I said, oh. And the food establishment person was standing there, and I said, he's going to give you some information.
Wow.
You know, so it's that kind of thing that you
Wow.
want. That's what they're looking for.
Wow.
And it's education.
Yes.
You know, it's not about stinging you or dinging you.
Sure.
It's about, if you're in this business, we want you to stay in the business.
Yes.
So in order to stay in the business, you have to be in compliance.
Wow, wow. And I think a lot of people that get into those type of business, such as restaurants, may not thoroughly understand why it is important to follow the codes and have this necessary certifications and things like that. And as you just expounded upon, you're just there to basically protect not only them but the public as well.
Most definitely.
Because I know we hear a lot of things of, I know when they had was it salmonella from the lettuce, and it was one person that had infected such and such and such and such. So not only is it me, you guys cover proper handling of foods as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Wash your hands. Wash your hands. I cannot say that enough.
Wow.
That's number one. Wash your hands. You're around kids. Wash your hands.
Wow.
Daycares. Wash your hands.
Wow.
Clean those toys that the children are playing with.
Wow, I never thought about that.
Oh, most definitely. Germs.
I never thought about that. Wow. And I guess that's why when Billy gets it, Becky gets it too.
And then brings it home to mom and dad.
How awesome. You talked about daycares. You guys manage daycare as well?
Well, we have the food inspection part of that. So it's important that in there that the food handling is appropriate.
Certainly.
Also looking at the schools. Ensuring that
So
that is.
you guys cover the Cincinnati Public Schools as well?
We take care of those schools too. We go into those schools and make sure the inspections are done
How awesome.
appropriately.
How awesome.
Yeah,
So
'cause they have to get a license too.
Well, we don't. That's why we have the wonderful Dr. Melba Moore on the program to inform us of such
Sure.
things, because, I mean, we certainly don't know for sure. Now, what about churches? When churches have kitchens and things, does that come under your jurisdiction as well?
Yeah, it's about the education. We want to make sure that whatever you're doing it's safe.
Yes.
You know, it's always about the safety aspects of it, and the permitting fees to ensure that you have your permit fees for those special events. And we have a mobile unit. We have another unit that actually does the temporary food permits as well as the food establishments
Wow.
too.
I recently noticed a large number of food trucks.
We take care of those too.
I was just about to ask, are the requirements a little bit different with it being a food truck? Because I know probably if you have a stationary freezer in a restaurant, that's probably going to get, I don't know, but colder than maybe
There's standards that we have to follow.
Okay.
And we will ensure that happens when we go out there. We had a situation with someone who had a food truck, but it wasn't licensed.
Wow.
But they were storing food in it, and they thought that was okay. No, that's not okay.
Wow.
It was safe, but that's not okay, because the rules are you have to have that licensed. So it's all about the education.
Oh, okay. So, and I guess I was kind of a little bit, thank you for clarifying. So what you're saying, if the truck had been licensed, it would have been okay? Okay, cool. Wow. And so for someone that is interested in doing a possible food truck or restaurant, they would contact who, where?
The City of Cincinnati Health Department.
City of Cincinnati. And I think you guys are on, is it Burnett?
Yes, on Burnett.
On Burnett.
3101 Burnett.
Is there a main number that people could call?
513-357-7200.
357-7200.
Yes.
I'm going to ask our folks to put that number up in case you guys are interested in information that we're going to talk about, not only this, but additional conversation as well, if you had any questions, to be able to call. You talked about vaccination and things like that. That was a big scare in reference to people getting flu shots, getting measles shots, and the many other type of things that you guys offer. Talk just a little bit to help us. Why is it important for people to try to be, what is the word I want to say?
In compliance?
Compliant with these type of requests from the health department?
To make sure that your immune system is protected. Because if it's not, so I talk about it this way. So you have a religious exemption.
Sure.
In your child, right? Something happens in a school. There are safeguards in place. We want to make sure you're notified so your child can be pulled out immediately.
Wow.
Right?
So they can actually, if the health department says that there was chicken pox, you can have the choice to remove the child if they've not been vaccinated.
We educate you to say,
okay,
we want your child to be vaccinated. And
okay,
you say, I have a religious exemption and I do not want to. Okay, just know. And then that's that education. It starts right there. And this happens at the beginning of the school year, because when kids come in, we want to make sure that their vaccination records are up to date.
Wow.
Principals too.
Wow.
So we say, that's your right, and if you choose not to, here's what you're going to have to do.
Wow.
We will notify you if something occurs within this school to extract that student from it, but then it's for you to come and make sure you secure the child too.
I know within the city of Cincinnati, there's a multitude of different health centers.
Yes.
And I think you just announced that there's some new ones?
Have 13 school-based health centers and 7 primary care sites. So we have about 22. Dental and vision.
So they do dental and vision as well. So someone could actually go to the health center and get
Bobby Stern.
done.
If you go to Bobby Stern, which is Elm Street,
yes,
you can get primary care and you can get dental services there.
Wow.
If you go to AWOL, you can receive vision and dental.
Now, please tell me, what is AWOL?
World of Academy.
And where is that located, please?
Now, my geography isn't that well. It's already with one of the schools, and I'm blanking on the school.
But they can call the health
AWL.
Department. So AWL.
A World of Languages.
World of Languages. That's one of the schools, and you can find out what's close.
And I think that's in, not Bond Hill. There's another area. I'm blanking on the area.
But I also wanted to, while you're thinking that, you guys also provide educational information, because we know we just had the African American men's course, and just speaking from an African American perspective, certain diseases and certain things that plague the African American community, you provide education. I know, and I don't want to say this, but let me say it, like diabetes.
Yes. Chronic diseases.
Chronic diseases, heart issues, and things like that.
Cardiovascular.
Does the Cincinnati Health Department provide education as far as that is concerned?
Yes, we do.
Please tell us a little bit about that.
So, let me tell you about the 4 focal areas. 4 focal areas that the community said was important. When we did our community health improvement plan, they said mental and behavioral health, access to nutritious foods, access to care and services, and infant mortality.
Wow.
So the babies are covered, adults and children are covered again when you think about mental and behavioral health.
Wow.
And then when you talk about access to nutritious food, so we're working and looking at how maybe we can incorporate the nutrition part within our health center. At one of our health centers, Hopple Street, there we have a partnership with Children's Hospital, and they bring in the free store food bank.
Wow.
And they have these what I call pop-ups during the spring and summer, where people can get fresh fruits and vegetables there.
I think I've seen that. It's
really nice.
Yeah, I think there was one in Walnut Hills, and it was in front of the old Kroger's in Walnut Hills, and they very economic priced,
very much
fresh greens.
Yes,
and, because in a lot of neighborhoods, there aren't access to fresh greens, and to be able to provide that. Now, this is sponsored by the Drop-In Center?
This is with Free Store.
Free Store.
Over through Hopple Street Health Center that has our primary care there,
Wow.
and Children's Hospital.
How
So
awesome.
we're thinking about having the same kind of partnership at one of our other health centers to partner
Sure.
and do a pilot to see how it works. Because around the corner from us, from our Elm Street site or our Bobby Stern facility, Crossroads also has this pop-up that happens in the spring and the summer, and they have it, I think, at the end of the month on a Thursday. So we're kind of looking at if to get into that business as well, just to make it convenient. But I said last year when I came here, imagine the possibilities.
Yeah.
And I said, imagine the possibilities if we could have a partnership with UC. Little did I know that this thing was going to pop as it did, and we opened August the 5th.
Awesome.
But I always say, imagine the possibilities of what we can do if we work with our partners.
Yes.
And think strategically about the needs of the community, which brings me to this other issue that is very prevalent in our community as it relates to opioids and heroin and substance use. In March 18th, we kicked off Safe Places Cincy.
Wow.
And Safe Places Cincy is a program where if you want to receive assistance, treatment, you want to get into treatment, then you can come to any one of my 7 health centers.
Wow.
And my team, there's a medical triage team. They will do a medical assessment.
These are people who are actually
my clinicians.
Okay. And what is the term for it?
It's called Safe Places Cincy, and what they do is a medical clearance. So they assess you.
This is someone that is on some substance abuse or something?
If someone is abusing substances, yes. And they say, I'm tired and I want off.
Wow.
So they can come into our facility, be assessed, because we want to make sure that if they need to go to the ER, we get them over there quickly. If not, we ask them a series of questions to find out what their substance of choice really is. And the gamut runs from a single substance to 4.
Wow, how awesome.
So we've had about 44 people come through Safe Places Cincy.
Wow.
And we've had one individual that was there multiple times. So that meant he wasn't ready, but that's okay.
Yeah, we'll wait on you.
We'll wait on you.
Yeah.
The other piece that we've added to Safe Places Cincy is that I'm partnering with Butler County to bring in a care coordinator.
Wow.
So Safe Places Cincy is, we're here waiting for you.
Wow.
The
partnership
with Butler County and this care coordinator is, we're coming to get you.
Wow, how awesome.
Outreach.
How awesome. I have about a minute left on the program. I want to make sure we give that number because there's such a wide range of information that we need to get out. But the number again is 513 for the Cincinnati Health Department.
357
7200.
7200.
357 7200. And you get a chance to talk about a lot more. Very quickly, you also do possible seminars for people that request, if there's like a health seminar and they need someone that has
that
a
will
little
come
bit more,
in and provide them some education?
Yes.
Sure, we can make that happen.
Wow, I love it. Well, let me applaud you, Miss Dr. Moore, for your personal ownership, but I love how you say my this and my that. I love that, your personal connection to that.
Sure.
That certainly is what's needed to make a difference. So thank you so much.
Thank
so
you.
everybody, again, one more time, the 100 Plus African American Men's Course, December the 8th, 7080 Reading Road, the 100 Plus African American Men's Course Benefit Concert, 5 p.m. in the evening. You don't want to miss this exciting event, and certainly call if you have any more information, Dr. Melba Moore, about the Cincinnati Health Department. Thank you for joining us. Keep talking.